Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Let's get some insights out of somebody who knows exactly how the NYPD operates. Former Commissioner Ray Kelly joining us right now. He was commissioner during the Dinkins administration. He was also, of course, commissioner during the administration of Michael R. Bloomberg, of course, who is the majority owner of the company that owns the network you're watching right now. Commissioner Kelly, great to have you here. Let's just talk about the basic sort of security measures that we typically see for these big events, like the Times Square ball drop, where you have to corral hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people into one tight area and make sure that all those people get in safely and, more importantly, get home safely as well.
Right. It's a real challenge, no question about it, but I think the NYPD has done it pretty well for many years. You know, there's a core area that in order to get there, you've got to enter either on 6th Avenue or 8th Avenue. And that's where anyone going into that area will be subject to a search. At least their bags will be searched. They'll be subject to magnetometer searches, that sort of thing. And the standard things that are done in these situations, for instance, the manholes are sealed, the mailboxes are taken away, those sorts of things, which are pretty standard. And we say now that there's a counterterrorism overlay. Particularly, we started doing that, or the department started doing that, since the horrendous events of 9/11. That means more police, more specialized units, more cipher teams, that sort of thing. And as the commissioner said yesterday, there's no credible threats that we're aware of. She also mentioned that drones will be increased. The department has been using drones for the last few years, and I think that's a good thing. So lots of cops, no question about it. It's manpower intensive, and I think another thing to be aware of is that in the other 4 boroughs in New York City, there are major New Year's Eve events that require a significant police presence as well.
Well, that's
you've done this before.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Well, that's a good point. And obviously for our viewers outside of New York, 5 boroughs here, obviously the main celebration in Manhattan. But as the commissioner points out, a lot of other festivities going on all around the city. And I know that keeps the cops busy on a day like tonight. Do you sort of, in the past, do you get all the cops on the clock for a night like this, or the majority of them, if you will? Or are you able to kind of do with your normal allocations that you would on a normal day?
Well, that's the challenge. We have to police the rest of the city. And, 8.4 million people, whatever number you want to use. So most of the police that you'll see tonight are on overtime. It's not on their regular scheduled tour of duty. It's an expensive proposition, but that's what the department has to do. There are some manpower concerns as far as people leaving the department. So in order to police an event like tonight, a huge event, you're going to have to pay a lot of overtime. But the rest of the city will be adequately policed.
I am curious, too, just about some of the recent events. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of security measures that are, to a certain extent, static. I mean, you can apply them this year, you can apply them 10 years from now. We've had a couple of incidents in New York, obviously, with the killing of the United Healthcare executive. You've got a lot of, political differentiation, if you will, for lack of a better word, and concerns about the security measures needed to protect those folks. How does the NYPD adapt kind of these sort of newer and more unique challenges that maybe puts people in danger?
Yeah, there are no guarantees, but there are things that you can do. Obviously, you monitor social media closely. Usually, if there is some sort of political demonstration, it's going to surface on the internet. We watch certain people. That's people who have a record maybe of disruption and maybe have been hinting about coming to the event. We may surveil them, not necessarily in person, but determine whether or not they've gotten airline tickets, that sort of thing. So, as I say, no guarantees, but the department is doing everything that reasonably can be done to protect the city tonight.
I am curious, though, if I can get your thoughts about the health of the department, of the NYPD. I mean, since Mayor Adams took over 3 years ago, we've gone through, well, 3 official commissioners and 1 acting. So basically 4 people holding that job. The current person who holds that, Jessica Tisch, I believe you probably have some familiarity with her, given her experience in counterterrorism back in the late aughts here. Give us a sense here of what you know about her and her potential stewardship of the NYPD over the next year and maybe beyond, depending on how long she stays.
Well, I know quite a bit about her. I hired her, brought her into the police department, and she was there for 12 years. She has 3 degrees from Harvard, a law degree, a business degree, and an undergraduate degree. She did an excellent job for me. She's run 2 major New York City agencies, Do It, which is the Department for Technical Matters, and the Sanitation Department. And the reports have all been very positive. She is a decision maker. She's very smart, and I think she will do and is doing an excellent job. So I think the police department is in good hands.
Absolutely here. And it doesn't matter at all, this idea that she herself wasn't actually a cop herself. Does that matter to the rank and file?
I don't think so. I think you get over that pretty quickly. We've had commissioners who've never been police officers. As a matter of fact, the majority of police officers, police commissioners through the history of the department have not been police officers. The concept was always sort of a commission to watch the department and manage the department, and then it was reduced to 1 after Teddy Roosevelt was on the commission. So I think she is the right choice at the right time to get the job done.
All right, Commissioner Kelly, appreciate you taking time for us today. And of course, all eyes right now focus on Times Square and all those NYPD officials hoping to keep everyone safe here for yet another New Year's Eve. Former NYPD Commissioner Ray Kelly there. He served briefly under David Dinkins back in the 90s and then did a relatively long stint under Mayor Michael Bloomberg back in the 2000s.